Okay. Yesterday, we were discussing about ARGHYA PRADANAM, the importance and the significance. Now, Surya Bhagavana, as scriptures say, and sun is a planet. This is what astronomy says, or maybe a star. Now, some people think that in Hindu philosophy, you pray to everything. You pray to a tree, you pray to a mountain, you pray to water, everything. It sounds funny, but our Maharshis say, when you are doing a namaskara to a person in front of you, are you doing it to the body or to the soul? What is visible is the body. But is the person the body or the soul? If it is body, then why a sun is lighting fire to the father's body? Just think about it. So, our scriptures say it is not body, it is the soul that is within the body that we do our salutations. In our customs, when elderly person comes, we do a pranamam. We are not doing it to the body, we are doing it to the soul inside that. Like that, sun is a body that is visible as a planet. Even our Maharshis also have put it, Navagrahas, they call it. In that you have Ravi also, that is sun. So what is to be seen, what is visible physically, what is demonstrable is good, no doubt. But there is something beyond that. That is what you have to start searching. The search is on. The search has been on. That's what basically scientists also do, isn't it? Scientists are able to see today what is not to be seen by ordinary common men. So because they have that quest for knowledge, so they start finding out. So Maharshis also say, start finding out what is the energy or the uniqueness of the sun behind what is seen. What you see is a planet, no doubt. So we pay our reverences, our respects and regards to that energy which is in the sun, which is not visible to our naked eyes. First thing is this. Even same is the case with, when you do Madhyanika Sandhya, you have got a mantra. Hagam sas chuchishat vasuram tarikshasat thota vedisat atididro nasat nasad varasat ratasat vyomasad abja goja raja adrijar tambrahatu. Veda says, Almighty God is born from all these things. Adrija means mountains, born out of mountains. Goja, born out of cows. So why I am coming to this is, sometimes certain things do not seem to be appealing to our common logic. So you have to search for it. Now, searching for everything, if you take time to search by yourself, the human life is not enough. It takes years and years for me to understand my body. Unless I do an MBBS degree, a doctor's degree for 6 years, I will not be able to understand. And then I have to do probably a couple of years on pharmaceutical industry, on pharmacy degree, to acquire a knowledge of how a tablet for a headache works. If I get a headache, I just take a tablet. Who told me? My mother told me. Is she a doctor? No. But still I believe. Now, I believe because it works. Last time when I had a headache, I took the tablet. It worked. Therefore, now I take again. Because it is proven by Prachaksha Pramana. It is called Prachaksha Pramana. Now, not everything is subject to Prachaksha Pramana. Like, for example, the presence of God cannot be seen. Who has seen the wind? Neither you nor I. But when the trees sing and dance, we know that the wind is passing by, said a philosopher. So, if I want to understand how the headache tablet works for the body, I must spend 7 years finding out. And then I will find out, yes, it works, this is the way it works. That is one way of learning. The another way of learning is wisdom comes from ages. My father knows, so therefore he said, I believe it. My grandfather did that, he must be knowing, therefore I did that. Now, does our scripture stop you from doing self-study? No. There is something called Tarka, it is a Shastra. It is a science by its own. Vadana means argument. Argument is allowed only in Hindu philosophy. You can argue, you can understand, but argue based on principles. So the wisdom lies in doing something which has been already researched by somebody. Our Maharshis did that research and they came and said, this is what it is, do like this. If someone says, no, I want to do it myself, you are welcome. You can do it. But please be informed that your lifetime is not enough. So, when it comes to Surya Bhagavana, now Maharshis say, the scriptures tell us, it is not just a planet. Esha Brahma cha Vishnuscha Sivaskanda Prajapatihi. Esha, this is Brahma, the creator. Vishnu, the maintainer, Sthitikaraka. Sivaha, the destroyer. Skandaha, Subramanya, Swami, the epitome of all Shastras. Like that, all forms of God are in that. I don't know whether I touched the subject of God in this session. What people think God normally, people think God is a man or woman. No, God is formless, first understand. God is nothing but energy. Energy in various forms. Energy manipulating itself in various forms is called different forms of God. Gods and goddesses. So our rishis have seen that, that the omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent energy, which we call it as God and we revere that, can manifest itself in different forms, just like thermodynamic law says, you can convert the energy from one form into another. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed. So, now when it comes to Surya Bhagavana, our Maharshis have found out that it is not just a planet, it has got some super energy. That's what even our scientists are saying, it is a solar energy. That's what they are saying it now today. Solar energy. Now they have also found out that if we can tap 1% of solar energy completely, even 1% of solar energy, we can light up the entire world for 365 days. Now imagine the amount of energy in sun. So therefore, that research is still going on. I'm not trying to say science is not good. No, science is also required because science has to evaluate. Science has to validate. So science will take time. It will start eventually finding out one by one. Now things are coming out. Earlier they said you should not have salt in your toothpaste. In my childhood days, they used to advertise. Are you brushing your tooth with salt and coal? No, give it up. Use Colgate. Okay, I don't want to take the names of the brand, but use this brand, which is soft and smooth, etc. Today, they are advertising saying that my paste comes with salt and coal in that. Because they found out. No? Science will take time to reach certain levels of the knowledge which our Maharshis have acquired thousands of years ago and put it in scriptures. Now it says, yes, sun is a planet, but beyond that there is something. Try to find that. Do some research. And understand. Esha Brahma cha Vishnu's cha Sivaha, Skandaha, Prajapati, Mahendraha, Dhanadaha, Dhanada means Kubera. Kalaha, Yamadharmaraja. Like this, all forms of deities, what you are worshipping, is there in unified location in sun. So those who worship sun, it's as good as worshipping all these forms of gods. That is why they say if you do Sandhya Vandanam, that is enough. You don't have to do anything else because you are worshipping all forms of gods in Sandhya Vandanam itself. And when we say Udyamtam Asta, after this Arghya Pradana, we are doing this. Astam Yantam Adityam Udyantam Astam Yantam. That means rising and setting every day. Udyantam means sunrise. Astam Yantam means sunset. So rising and setting every day. Adityam, that is sun, Surya Bhagavana. What he does, why is he rising and why is he setting up every day? He is rising and setting up. While doing that, Abhidhyayan kurvan brahmano vidvan. Dhyayan means to meditate. Abhidhyayan means deeply meditate. Deeply meditation means by believing that it is true. By focusing on that. By not thinking about anything else. What is true? Asavadityo Brahma. That's what is coming to the next line. Asadityo. Aditya means sun. Look here. Asav means look here. It's a form of address. Surya or Aditya, he is Brahman. With that meaning, if somebody meditates, Abhidhyayan Kurvan, that means who does, who performs. Brahmano Vidvan. Brahman is a person who is concentrating on Brahma Jnana. On what is Brahman? What is the supreme power for the universe? A person who concentrates on that is called Brahman. Vidvan, because he is a knowledgeable man. For such a person who meditates on Surya during sunrise and sunset times, Udyantam, Astamyantam, Adityam, Abhidhyayan, Kurvan, Brahmano, such a person, Sakalam Bhadram Asnute. Bhadram Asnute. Bhadram means security. Safety is different from security. See, the security of that person is taken care by whom? Yogakshemam Vahamyaham, said Krishna Paramatma in Bhagavad Gita. So the sun planet will take care of the security. Security means the person concerned doesn't have to worry about himself anymore. Suppose a person, if I have a Z plus security, for example, I don't worry about myself now. I'm not bothered about it. I'm not thinking about it. I don't plan anything about it. I don't worry about it. There is a setup to take care of that. You can see this when VVIPs visit. All arrangements will be made, including if required, roads will be blocked, traffic will be diverted, aerial surveys will be done, drone monitoring will be done, lots of cops will be on the streets. All protection taken care. The person concerned doesn't even know what arrangements are being made here. So, here, whoever performs Arghya Pradana, timely, of course, timely, every day, without fail, during morning and evening, Udyantam, Astamyantam. So, at these times, for such people, Surya Bhagavana will take care of him. He doesn't have to worry about it. Now, yesterday I was talking about Mandehadas as a Asuras who are blocking the way for Surya's chariot. Some of us may get a doubt that it is so far. How can the water become Vajrayudham? I said it becomes Vajrayudham. Apo, Vajri, Bhutva. This is what the Vedas say, How can it become Vajrayudham? Water thrown from here, how can it become Vajrayudham? Now, for this to understand, you must understand the difference between two words called Astra and Shastra. There are two things which weapon in the weaponry in the Vedas. We hear this in Ramayana Bharatas also. No, we say that he has used Nagastra, he has used Brahmastra, he has used Varunastra, he has used Pashupatastra, etc., etc. We use the these terms. We hear these terms. Now, the difference between an astra and shastra. Shastra means I have a weapon in my hand. Could be a axe, could be a spear, could be a stick or whatever. Something to fight with the enemy and cause harm to that enemy. That is called shastra. I hold a sword and fight, and then that is called a shastra. But for an astra, I use the same bow and arrow. With the same arrow, I can create a Vaivyastra, a Agnyayastra, a Varunastra, a Pashupatastra, whatever provided. I know the mantra behind it. There is a mantra for that. We have a story in Ramayana also. Lord Rama was sleeping in Aranyavasa, in Ma Sita's lap. He was taking rest. At that time, there is an asura called Kakasura. He comes in the form of a crow and starts troubling Sita Ma, Mother Sita. Then what happens? She doesn't want to disturb because Rama sleeps may get disturbed. You should not wake up somebody who's sleeping. You should not disturb somebody who's sleeping. That is Papa. So she doesn't want him to get disturbed in the sleep. So she was trying to manage, but she couldn't manage. The crow comes and hits her here. And for this disturbance, Rama wakes up. When he wakes, suddenly he sees an asura right in front of his wife. Now, naturally, anybody will get anger. He immediately gets angry. And he has no time to call Lakshmana, bring my Kodanda and all. He doesn't have time. Nor could you think because he woke up from the sleep. So he immediately plucks out Dharma from there and then chants the mantra and leaves it. In the hurry, he forgets and he chants Brahmastra mantra. It was a small crow, but still that's where, since then there is a proverb here, Pichikamida Brahmastram. In Telugu, we call it, somebody has used a Brahmastra on a small person. But anyway, it is a Brahmastra now. He has just used a Darbha there. He doesn't bring his bow and arrow also. Now this Brahmastra follows that Asura. He goes around all worlds, all over the 14 lokas. Nobody can help him. Finally, he had to come back on Rama's feet. And Rama, out of compassion, he says, okay, I can forgive you, but I have already started this Brahmastra. I made use of this Brahmastra now. What should I do? Then he says, for the mistake I did, take out my right eye. And since then, they say crows have only one eye. So the point I'm trying to make is you don't need any special equipment, special weaponry. Now, that is called astra. In modern day technology also, we have what is called as missiles. A gun and a bullet is something like a shastra, whereas a missile is something like an astra. For launching of a missile, they don't carry it physically and then throw it there. 5,000 miles away or 10,000 miles away, distance doesn't matter. Distance doesn't matter. Right? At the press of the button, in some launching center somewhere, the missile can take off and go and hit the target. Likewise, the Arghya that you throw while you are chanting this mantra becomes Brahmastra. Now, how does it go and reach? We do not know. We can find out if you want, if you are interested. You can spend time and then do the research. But now, I'll give you one more example. If you have Alexa at home, you say, Alexa, call my friend Raghunathan in US. Does it call or no? He brings Raghunathan right on the line and makes me speak to him. Now, Raghunathan is 10,000 miles away from my house. Why go to Alexa? Now, let us take this example now. Today, those of you who are in US are also able to see me. If I am raising my hand here, a person sitting here in the studio is also able to see me, and you are sitting 10,000 miles away from me, but you are able to see this. So distance doesn't matter. Now, only difference is the scientists are yet to find out the technology of communication, interstellar rather, I would say. We already have intercontinental communication systems, intercontinental messages. Now I want to send them money from here. I don't physically send money to my son in US. If I want to transfer dollars, okay, I just sit on my laptop here and I type something here and something is deducted from my account and it gets created in his account there. Physically, there is no physical transfer, but there is a mechanism how it works. Similarly, there is a mechanism created in the universe for those who are offering argyas. How does it go and affect the mandhyas? This is what we have to understand. This much, if you can understand what is the mechanism, we don't have to worry about it, because our lifetime is not enough if we start to do the research. Bharadwaja Maharshi, I understand there is a story. This is a part of our scriptures actually. It's said in Bhagavatam. Bharadwaja Mahamuni wanted to do penance and understand the secret of universe, Srishti, the creation. He requested Brahmaji for 10,000 years of life. Brahmaji granted him the boon. He studied for 10,000 years. After 10,000 years, then Brahmaji appeared and said, Mr. Bharadwaja, now your time is up. Then could you complete your study? Then he said, no, Brahmaji, I think there is a lot more to do. Can you grant me another 10,000? He said, okay, if you are interested, go ahead. I will grant you another 10,000 years of life. So first 10,000 over, second 10,000. He did a lot of research all this 10,000 years to find out. And then again 10,000 is over, 20,000 is over. Brahmaji appeared again. Then again he requested one more time. He said, I could not completely study the entire universe or creation. I could do something, but that is not enough. I need another 10,000. He said, okay, granted, and disappeared again. After 30 years of his life, 30,000 years, sorry, 30,000 years of his life, then Brahmaji appeared and said, could you complete Mr. Bharadwaj now? He said, no, there is a lot more to do. I could not completely do that. So could you grant me another 10,000 for the fourth time? I am myself feeling embarrassed to ask you this, but I think another 10,000. But tell me, Mr. Brahma, how much is there in this universe to learn? Then Brahmaji said, look there. Could you see that mountain there? He said, yes, I could see a big mountain there. And in this 30,000 years, what you have studied, he picked up a fistful of dust and dropped there. And he said, this is what you have studied in 30,000 years of your life. And that is the knowledge available in the universe. So in this ratio, how many tens of thousands of years of life would you need to study this? So don't waste your time. It is time now you come back and join us in Devaloka. Then he understands and he relinquishes his body and goes. So the point I'm trying to make is, if you want to study everything by yourself, this life is not enough. So wisdom lies in accepting some things as they are told in the scriptures, because somebody else has done his entire life, he has used his entire life for that, and he tells us. Okay. So that being the case now, that is what explains that yes, when we do like this, it becomes Brahmastra and throws the Mandehas to the Dvipas. And this is all story in Puranas. How do we conduct this now? Let us come back to the scientific understanding of what has been done in research so far. Okay, there is a lot more to be done. Still people are doing it. That is happening. But based on the information that is available in the science today, we will try to connect it to what our Maharshi said and see whether it gets connected or not. Now, science says sun is a planet with energy, and that energy is being transmitted to the earth. Now, we say our Maharshi say sun chariot has 7 horses. Okay. Now, scientists say sunlight comes in 7 colors: violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. These are probably the chariots which our Maharshis were talking about, because the horse, we have interpreted it as a horse. But Ashwa is a Shabda which has a meaning in Sanskrit, which also means that spreads, not just horse. Saptashwarada Samarudam Prachandam Kashyapatmajam Svedabadmadaram Devam Tam Suryam Pranamamyam. This is what our Maharshis have taught us, the sloka as Jnana sloka for Surya. What it means is Saptashva. That means there are 7 horses tied to your chariot. You are with brilliance, Prachandam, Kashyapatmajam, son of Kashyapa. Sweta Padmam, that means white lotus. Dharam, you are holding that. Devam, Tam, Suryam, you are Surya God, and I am doing Namaskara to you. This is what the meaning of that sloka means. But in the very beginning it says Sapta Ashwa. Ashwa, our people have interpreted it as horse. That is one meaning in Sanskrit. But Ashwa also means ability to spread. That is why horse is given the name of Ashwa, because it can move and spread much faster amongst all the animals. That is the fastest moving animal, and therefore Ashwa. So Saptashva, when they said Saptashva, that means 7 colors are available, visible. Now we can connect it there. Like this, you can do for everything. I don't have time to go into that. So I will just complete the scientific part of it now. So we know that sunlight is coming out from there. That is a visible light in the form of violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. That is what is good to us, because we are able to see. We all become active when sun comes. We go for rest when the sun is disappearing. Sunset time happens means it is time to go home and have dinner and sleep. Okay. So the human and the mankind, not only the mankind, even the plants, animals, they all awake, except for those nocturnal animals. There are few which are nocturnal, Nishiratri they call, and Nishacharas we also have in mankind. Nowadays, all people in Hyderabad, they are also becoming Nishacharas. They are working in the nights, they are roaming in the nights, midnights and all. It's happening, it's different story. Okay, nightlife is something different. I'm not talking about that. But generally, the general human behavior is to sleep once the sun set and then wake up once the sun rises. So the entire activity of the mankind is controlled by sun. Therefore, we are all depending on sunlight. Now, scientists have also found further that it is not just violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. So they have given some electromagnetic spectrum. On this electromagnetic spectrum, they have also given from 380 nanometers to 425 nanometers. It is a Vibgyor light. Then they also found that no, there is light coming beyond this and below this also. Beyond 380 and beyond 425 and below 380 also there is an energy coming out. And that energy, they have named it as ultraviolet energy and infrared energy. The infrared energy and ultraviolet energy, scientists have also found out, is harmful for the human skin and the mind. One is harmful for the skin, one is harmful for the mind, for the brain. So a person should not be exposed to these infrared and ultraviolet energies. Probably our Maharshis meant Mandehadulu means, Man means manas, manas means mind, Deha means body. So they said they are asuras, not good. Drive them out. Now, how are you driving them out? When you are throwing the water like this. Now, water is nothing but hydrogen and oxygen molecules. Go to the molecular level. It may be difficult for non-science people, for arts and commerce people. Try to catch me. I will try to make it as simple as possible. But for science people, it is easy to understand. When you go on an atomic plane, you have atom. On each atom, the water molecules are there. When you are throwing this, sunlight is a light that is traveling. Now, the light has a theory which says whenever it hits an interface, it travels, it penetrates, or it reflects. Isn't it? It propagates or reflects. When it reflects and deflects also. It takes a different direction. This is what the basic science of the Rayleigh waves, etc., etc. There are different names for that. Let us not go into so much of science. But basically, fundamentally, when the sunlight comes, it either passes, part of the energy is transmitted, part of the energy is reflected. Part of the energy, while it is reflected, it is deflected depending on the plane at which it hits. If it hits at normal interface, that means at 90 degrees, it comes back in the same plane. But if it hits at an angle other than normal, then part of the energy is deflected. This is what the basic law says, isn't it? So following this, now what happens is, whatever is Vibgyor light pattern that transmits, and whatever is infrared and ultraviolet gets deflected when I throw water like this. So this I am protecting my home from ultraviolet and infrared energy. So a person who performs Sandhya Vandanam at home and throws water like this is able to protect from infrared and ultraviolet energy. Next house also, neighbor also does. Olden days, everybody were doing, entire village was doing. So entire country was doing. So it is all protected and it is driven back. Now that is not being done. So what is happening is the ozone layer. We are listening too much about that, isn't it? Nowadays, there is a hole in the ozone and etc. etc. All this is happening because we stopped giving arghyas. True. Now it may sound bizarre, but sometimes what happens is, when you understand deeply, because it's a mass movement, hundreds of thousands of people have stopped doing that. So there is no reflection. There is only transmission. Continuous transmission can burn and create a hole in the universe. So probably that could be one of the reasons. There is no scientific proven for this, not yet been proven. I'm just sharing my thought. But yes, for my protection, this is what I can say. Now, scientists have also found out that it is not just infrared and ultraviolet energy. There is also X-rays and gamma rays energy also that is coming from the sunlight, which is not visible to the naked eye. Of course, ultraviolet itself is not visible, isn't it? So what we cannot see, we cannot say that it doesn't exist. That's the point I'm trying to make. Because for me, energy is God. I have X-ray energy, I have gamma ray energy coming from sunlight. I can't see. What I can't see doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It exists. So God is there, but I can't see. Godly power is there, I can't see. So how do I feel? I should feel for the God by being in touch with him. Like when I said about mantra, that was a mechanical energy. This is a solar energy, right? When we do apo ishtamaya bhuva, that is a hydel energy. So I am trying to invoke the energy that is present in the universe in different forms so that it does good to me, to my body, to my health, to my mental health. That is why we don't have as many cases. Now, I was reading a literature the other day. I was shocked to read that. I understand that in US, in that society, where the philosophy takes last seat, probably, every one third of the house, they have psychiatric problems. People they consult a psychiatrist at least every alternate one third of this population in US. But in India, we don't have that because we are driving out that negative forces by not allowing him to come into our manas through meditation, through yoga, different forms, of course. This is not the only one. So when I do Sandhya Vandanam, I am sitting to do Sandhya Vandanam to meditate and have a self-control. Basically, eventually, finally, what Sandhya Vandanam does is it promotes self-control. That's all. So once I am in control, I am in control of my action. I am in control of my emotion. Because I am in control of my action and emotion, I am happy for whatever the result comes. Because I know that this is what is the result. So therefore, I am not disturbed and distracted for the results that are happening. And I accept them whatever happens. Therefore, I am happy. And because I am happy, I am in control. Because I am in control, I am happy. So this emotional cycle, this circle of happiness and control will be with the person who is performing Sandhya Vandanam. So ARGHYA Pradana has so much of significance if we connect it now. As I told yesterday, you have got so much of information nowadays on Google. Please go to Google whenever you find time and do some search on these informations. the ultraviolet energy, infrared energy, the visible light spectrum, etc., etc. But connect it with the mantra and the meaning of that mantra, what you are doing. Then it will be more meaningful, and you will enjoy the action of Sandhyavandanam that you are doing. You can't miss. Like if somebody says skip the Sandhyavandanam, I will say I would rather skip meal rather than missing Sandhyavandanam, because meal will only nourish me for that 6 hours or 8 hours. But Sandhyavandanam nourishes me throughout my life. So therefore, I would prefer doing that. Okay. So this is about ARGHYA PRADANAM. Now, there is a question, why 3 times? This question I will answer and then we'll close for today. Why 3 times? Because, this is a war between sun and Mandehas, as per the story, isn't it? Now, the warrior is on a chariot. Sun is on a chariot. So, as per Dharma Shastra, these guys are also on a chariot. So, when that is called Radhi. A Radhi who has got a chariot, which is called Radham. Radham is a chariot. The person riding on that is a Radhi, and the person who drives it is called a Saradhi. Okay. Those days it used to be horses. So a buggy, horse buggy. Radham is nothing but a horse buggy. So the Yuddha Shastra says, if I am a warrior, I am fighting from a chariot. The opposite side also should be on the chariot, which is fulfilled now in this case. Both of them are on that. Now, the warrior who is shooting the bow should not directly shoot the Radhi. He must give a first warning by shooting his horses. Now, what the other guy should do? He should be able to protect it. So the bow that has been targeted, the first target will be the horse. So if he can't protect his horse, it is proven that the opposite party is more stronger than this party. So he will be given a choice to seek time and go back, which normally Kshatriyas don't do. Normally they don't do. So that means it's a first warning to him that I am more powerful than you. The second warning is given by hitting the arrow to the Saradhi, not the Radhi. Radhi is spared. So the second one hits the Saradhi. That is why Yatra Yogeshwarah Krishno Yatra Partho Dhanurdharaha Tatasir Vijayor Bhutir Dhruvane Tirmatir Mama. This is what Gita says. Lord Krishna is sitting in front of Arjuna. If something has to pass, it has to pass Krishna. If the moment Krishna decides and tells, I am going to be the Saradhi for Arjuna, Bhishma declares the war is over. We have lost. Because nobody can beat Krishna. No one can. It is possible for me to beat Arjuna, Duryodhana, but even I can't beat Krishna. And I can't beat Arjuna without beating Krishna, because he is the Saradhi. So anyway, so that is the story of that. So the second arrow must hit the Saradhi. And then the third time, if he is still fighting, then they can directly hit the Radhi. This is the Yuddha Niti, or the rules of Yuddha. So therefore, the first one is given to hit their Ashwas, second one their Saradhi, and then third one is for them. Fourth one, what we are giving is a Prayaschitta. Prayaschitta should not be used as a routine matter. Please, you must do it before Sandhyavandanam, at least 25 minutes before, and 25 minutes, half an hour, take it as half an hour before and half an hour later is considered to be a normal time. You don't have to give Prayaschitta Arghya. Okay, this is the story of why 3 times. And I think I have answered all questions. If there is something left over related to Arghya, we can definitely take it on Friday when I leave it again for you for Q&A session. Okay, we'll meet tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll explain the mantra of Gayatri, and Avahana mantra is there. Om Ichcheka Mama. We'll understand the meaning of that and then get into Gayatri mantra artham. Dharmasya vijayostu, adharmasya nashostu, praninam sadbhavanastu, gavam samrakshanastu, visvasya kalyanamastu.